Welcome back for a new top 10 list. Hopefully you enjoy the music in the background. I chose music from a great indie platformer called Celeste. So with that said, this is a special top 10 list. The top 10 highest ranked video games for the Xbox One on Metacritic. So these are Metacritic scores. I'm strictly looking at the critic score, not user score. So with that said, first, the honorable mentions. All of these are at 91%, along with technically number 10, but for some reason still it has them ranked this way. However, honorable mentions first up, we have at 91% among Macrix a great indie game called Dead Cells, which, if you like hard difficulty 3D or 2D platformers, I highly recommend checking out Dead Cells. Second honorable mention, with also 91% on Metacritic, Overwatch. Now, personally, I never got into Overwatch. I have played some of the free temporary demos and stuff on the Switch. I'm not that impressed, but I've never been really big about online, like multiplayer shooters and things like that, with the exception of maybe Titanfall. But with that said, Overwatch, not don't care that much about it. Next honorable mention, a game I can personally recommend. Great racing game, if you like. That is Forza 3. Or rather, Forza Horizon 3, I should say. Which I do recommend the Horizon series more than any other racing series. And I'm not a big racing fan. Last of the honorable mentions, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Or just Sekiro. Of course, the most, well, not the most recent from software. That would actually be Demon Souls Remake. But I do recommend, if you've not tried Sekiro, check it out. It's a pretty solid game. If you like high difficulty games, but want something that plays differently than the traditional Dark Souls, something I recommend checking out. First, coming in at number 10, and this is a game I highly recommend. Coming at number 10 with a Metacritic score 91% critic score, and that is The Witcher 3 comes in 10th place. Solid, great game that deserves all the respect and, well, loving that the game gets. It definitely deserves it. It is a solid, great game. Too bad CD Projekt Red destroyed the credibility they gained from that amazing game. Coming in at number 9 is a indie game I highly praise and highly recommend. If you've not played, give it a shot. It's a great game. You can get almost all platforms. I've already done on my indie playthrough playlist. I've done a full playthrough of this game. If you're at all curious about, number 9 is What Remains of Edith Finch, which is a very great, yeah, technically it's more or less a walking simulator type game, like some indie games, but it is a great game. I think the storytelling is superb. I honestly eventually might do a full game review of it. And I feel like the need to play the game again, but if you like a short game, it's a great game to check out. You can beat the game in between 2 to 3 hours, depends if you want to take your time exploring the game and stuff, which I recommend. But yeah, you can easily beat the game in one sitting, no problem. That's one of the things I like about some of the indie games, is you can beat them in like 3 to 5 hours, no problem. But this is a great game, great storytelling. Coming at number 8 with a 92% Metacritic score, and that is Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, I personally have not played this game at all, so I have no overall opinion on the game. I do know from people I've talked to that they really have enjoyed the game, but as for me, completely neutral opinion on this game. Coming in at number 7 is a game I praise highly. In my opinion, it's the greatest racing game of the 2010s. Just my opinion, though. Coming at number 7 with a 92% critic score, Forza Horizon 4. Amazing game. I can't recommend, as I've already said before, the Horizon series. I can't recommend it highly enough. It was Forza Horizon 3 was the first sports game I ever bought for the Xbox One. And if you are at all a big racing fan, seriously, do yourself a favor. If you don't even have an Xbox One 360, get Forza Horizon 2 on the 360. Coming in at number 6 is, in my opinion, easily in the top 10 best indie platformers of all time, in my opinion, anyways. Coming at number 6 with a 93% critic score is the great game Inside, which of course was made by the same ones who created Limbo, which in my opinion is probably just about the greatest indie platformer of all time. But with that said, I am glad to see Inside did so well among critics. Coming in at number 5 with a 93% Metacritic score, Resident Evil 2 Remake. I'm pretty impressed and surprised at how high it is. But yeah, it's the 5th highest ranked game on the Xbox One by critics. So that's pretty impressive. For a remake, that's definitely good. I need to eventually get around to playing RE2 Remake, especially since the price of the game now is very reasonable. Next, coming in at number 4, another game I would put in the top 10 best indie platformers of all time. Coming at number 4, as I've already said, you hear music in the background from this game. And number 4, with a 94% critic score, Celeste comes in 4th place. Very deserving of it. I'm glad to see many people love this game and respect it for what it did. The fact it is perfect for a newcomer to that type of game, but there's a lot of complexity for those people who have been playing platformers, indie stuff for years. So it's great. It's a great game for both, like newcomers and super high expert level platformer fans. So it's definitely a great, I think, introduction for many people, especially to see how beautiful the game looks and the amazing music. In my opinion, probably top 5 best indie soundtracks of all time. Coming in at number 3, kind of surprised, with a 95% Metacritic score, and that is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I am genuinely really surprised. I've not really played much of Metal Gear Solid 5 personally, but I mean, from what I have played, it's a pretty solid game, though I'm not sure where I put it, at least in a category of the Metal Gear Solid games. In my opinion, Metal Gear Solid 1 is still arguably the best Metal Gear Solid game. For me personally, then probably Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. Though I also have a real deep attachment to Metal Gear Solid VR Missions. Underrated, in my opinion. Coming in at number 2 is, in my opinion, one of the most overrated games of all time. I mean, I get it, a lot of people love it given its sales numbers, but coming at number 2 with a 97% Metacritic score blows my mind. Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, for me personally, I feel Grand Theft Auto is one of the most overrated games of all time. Keep in mind, this comes from someone who the only 2 Grand Theft Auto games I've personally played that I actually enjoyed was Grand Theft Auto 2, 3, and specifically my favorite is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. But that's because I'm a big fan of like 80s music and everything, and the whole like Vice City, Miami Vice like feel it had to it. So I'll admit my bias, that's why. I just really, after Vice City, I couldn't really get into any others. Uh, in my opinion, San Andreas is not bad, but outside the soundtrack, yeah. Um, Coming in at number one with also a 97% correct score. Coming at number one is a game also by Rockstar. Strangely enough, the top two spots are held by Rockstar games for Xbox One. Now, coming in at number one is Red Dead Redemption 2, which I have not played. I own the first Red Dead Redemption. I haven't played it. I have played and owned a Red Dead Revolver, which I actually really like Red Dead Revolver. I have no real opinion on Red Dead Redemption 2 since I haven't played it. Um, but most people I know that have played it very much highly regard Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe someday I'll get around to playing it, or maybe not. Hard to say. But once I actually get and play the original Red Dead Redemption 2, I may review that. But for now, this was the top 10 highest rated Xbox One games among critics. Um, Let me know if there's any other specific consoles you'd like me to do a top 10 list of Metacritic scores. Also, quick announcement at the end of this video. I am going to leave this vote up to anybody watching this video that votes. I'm going to give you one of two options for the next fighting game tournament. One of two fighting games. You can choose from. The one with the most votes wins. And the two options are for the next fighting game tournament: Injustice 2 or Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournament. So leave a comment. Which tournament would you rather see? Would you rather have an Injustice 2 tournament or an Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournament? I'll leave it up to you out there. But with that said, hopefully you enjoyed the music from Celeste in the background. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Especially with a lot of winter storm, a lot of snow and stuff. It looks like coming to the East Coast in the next few days. But I'll see you all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.